Episode 83, and we got some bomb drops. Not nukes, but bombs. Gibeon's getting filled in on the Voltecker's progress. Gideon drops Terapagos is awakened, and now Lycos open the door to battle with it regularly. Their plan is to ambush the RBTs in Laqua. Can all but guarantee the crew won't see it coming either because they're usually oblivious to the explorer's antics. Gibeon makes a request to Spinel, who shows some cult-like devotion. He's like, "Yes, Master Gibeon, should I spit shine your shoes while I'm at it?" Gets me wondering if it's an exaggerated act to keep Gibeon unsuspecting. Coral inquires about Amethio, who's still on leave. It's fine, according to her though, claiming to be undefeatable, but Larry might like a word. Spinel's still not interested in bringing Amethio back. If he were to betray Gibeon, maybe Spinel worries Amethio's devotion to his grandfather could be a problem. At Exceed, Amethio, Kanya, and Zerk have a right to Spinel's lab. So, it's snooping time! We also get more updated visuals in the opening. Some nostalgic looking shots of Pakugo and Ristel gives the feeling it's coming home to them. We also see the turtle in trouble with a dramatic looking Liko. As we saw when Spinel used it, maybe Terapagos will have an adverse reaction to the Laquium. Then Ristel and Lucius standing together, I'm guessing we'll have some more Ristel flashback cameos. So Rayquaza's leading the way to Laqua. Freed's being cautious about the explorers not catching on to what they're up to, despite the explorers constantly spying on them without ever being noticed. We get reminded how the Laquium makes the Pokémon stronger, but vicious. Wonder if it'll have any negative effect on the RBT's mons. They ponder why Laquium's referred to as the Eternal Blessing. Though, given the context of what we know about Gibeon, it's pretty apparent how it's been extending his life. Not to be cynical, but living for hundreds of years sounds more exhausting than a blessing to me. Molly suggests the Laquium activates cells in the body. That would tie in well with Zygarde's gimmick, both in terms of cell division and ecosystem phenomena. More parallels like how living beings eat donuts to absorb their nutrients, similar to how Zygarde's cells absorb sunlight. I got a kick out of Molly's jab at the accident-prone Roy and Fuecoco, but a good example of cell rejuvenation. That rapid cell growth is what causes the plants to die, but no worries, not fatal to humans and Pokemon. Still, doesn't sound like something to indulge in. Unlike Gibeon, who with the Laquium, the RBTs conclude is alive. As they discuss what repercussions Laquium could have, the group gets shook. Except the kids who were just enjoying the ride there. See, they got no fear, and that's why Roy be getting injured. But that eager spirit's contagious for the others. They may not be explorers in name, but are just as adventurous. As sneaky as Spinel is, nice to see him finally be the one getting snooped on. Also, every appearance of Amethio's friends fleshes them out just a bit more. Zerk having a moral compass, upset by the idea of abusing Pokemon with the Laquium, which Spinel has marked as the beta version. Tells to me he's wanting even stronger of those steroid stones. Before too long, the group ends up caught and apprehended without much of a fight. Must have gotten their monster balls taken quick. Meanwhile, Spinel and Choust have their meeting with Gibeon. Since his body's managing well, Spinel suggests Gibeon should live forever. Again, is he hamming it up or is he just that committed? Gibeon doesn't react to that suggestion, he's too focused on his dream being fulfilled. Given what we hear from Hamber later, maybe it clues us into what that is. Zerk tries to brute force their way out of there, but it's pretty fruitless. It does give us some fun bickering between him and Kanya, which Amethio quiets. Makes him look that much more mature, or the others a lot less so. The group was not in there long though before being retrieved. Surprisingly, Hamber got them. I wasn't sure if he and Amethio were estranged after the dismissal. The two get to catch up and it seems they're both suspicious of Spinel. If Hamber pieced it together, maybe Gibeon has too. Maybe that's why Gibeon gives Spinel so much attention. Either way, Amethio is determined to get to the bottom of it all. Amethio's home is real royal, accentuated by the guarding Surfetched. Even makes Connie and Zerk feel unworthy, but Amethio wants them by his side. He's attached. Inside, they come across a portrait of Amethio's mom, who apparently died in a traffic accident. Coco's parents got ran off the road. I mean, where does it end? Also dark, considering how realistic of a way that is to go. Poor Amethio's been abandoned nearly every step of the way. Explains as well why Professor Crave seems so melancholy. Later on, Hamber gives them the rundown. Apparently, Gibeon considered Lucius a close friend. No mention of Ristel though, oof. To Gibeon, Lucius didn't understand the value of Laquium and its purpose to Gibeon's dream. If his goal is to enhance quality of life, maybe he wants to make Laquium readily available to prolong life or prevent death, along with Zygarde to oversee that cycle. Unless Zygarde resists, feeling the planet's in peril again. A wild guess would be even reversing death, attempting to bring back Amethio's mom. So, turns out Hamber's got himself a cell, which Amethio calls a sign of Gibeon's trust in him. Curious Spinel doesn't have one. Expectedly, Gibeon did survive thanks to Laquium. They're like stone versions of the Fountain of Youth. Owing Laquium his life, you can understand the obsession. Whatever his ambition is, it does feel noble to have inspired Hamber. As a teacher, Hamber's continued the track of inspiring. Seems he's trained the others the same way he did Amethio. Amethio is clearly the top student though. Their concern is Spinel has risen from an Exceed employee to a position where he's now using Gibeon. So why doesn't Hamber just Tell Gibeon that. Maybe he needs more concrete evidence. Since time is ticking, Amethio decides to head to Laqua himself. He won't be alone though, since he has his ride or dies. Ooh, maybe that was poor choice of phrasing given the circumstances. With the revelation of Laqa's heritage, seems her and Amethio were bound by fate, drawn to each other like how they got trapped in that cave. Regardless of who Laqa is, Amethio is who he is. Someone that is deeply devoted to his family and on his way to Laqua to protect it. Back with the crew, Rayquaza's causing some commotion. Right before Laqua, it takes off on them as if prompting a detour. One last trek to keep the suspense building. I mean, the hype is huge. They even almost got the ship blown up from excitement, just getting ahead of themselves. From here, Laqua is just around the corner. This episode felt like a mixed bag. A lot of recapping mixed with some revelations to keep you engaged. The biggest takeaway to me being Amethio's mother passed away. I feel like it contextualizes his character. With family so engaged in work, maybe he felt neglected. Now he's trying hard to compensate and win their approval. It is part of Horizon's masterful work in character development. Even Gibeon's less of a villain and more of an antagonist. His goals simply seem to differ from the RBTs and Lucius. This episode felt like the calm in the middle of a storm. I give it a B.